Hi, everyone. I'm super excited. I have my friend Maggie on. We actually met online. And she is an amazing health coach. I'm not going to steal her thunder. I'm going to let her talk about what she's going to today. But I'm so excited because we're going to talk about some of my favorite things, which is healthy living and faith. And we're going to talk how we're going to integrate them into a busy life. Can I get any amens in the comments? Anyone? All right, Maggie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and then we'll just start chatting. How does that sound?
That's awesome.
Okay, good. Take it away, Maggie. Just tell us about yourself.
So my name is Maggie Summers. I am a family nurse practitioner, and I have a specialty with working with bariatric patients, but I pre and post weight loss surgery. But I also do health coaching with people one-on-one to support them in their health journey. Obviously, a lot of people are looking and seeking weight loss or weight maintenance, so that tends to be a focus. But as a believer, I also, and having a holistic approach, it's not a traditional way that you might see. The focus isn't just like the weight and the scale that we work through. We work through stress, mindfulness, meditation, kind of thing. So anyway, it's so that's how I kind of support people, like as a health coach in that space, both bariatrics and with people that are just seeking more calm in their life, and also weight management. So
Awesome. And you're a busy mama, right?
yeah. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. So I worked at a major healthcare center for 15 years and decided that it was not for me. I didn't like the break fix model that we have. And so I left healthcare and started my journey as a health coach after that. I do have a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old, both boys. I just started homeschooling them.
Wow.
So that's, interesting. We're lots of transitions, but yes. So I do have a couple like per diem jobs and trying to maintain my own self-care and prioritize my own health and trying to support my husband and my boys. So it's busy.
Yeah,
Very much.
definitely. And you're from the Buckeye State, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have to love Buckeyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's my home state. We're now in the Hoosiers area. Yeah. Anyway, awesome. So tell me a little bit about the support system and faith and how that all ties together. I'm so excited to learn about this.
So like I said, when you asked me kind of like what, something that we could talk about, or maybe, coming into the space and getting a better understanding about how you serve your community here, I think thinking about how we can integrate support and faith, and prayer, into a healthy lifestyle, right? And so James chapter 5 verses 13 is kind of what came to mind, as far as just kind of a starting point. So if you don't care, I'll just read a couple verses and then I'll kind of go into a little bit about maybe some action steps to take, or just maybe not even action steps, but things to like think about and meditate on, and maybe pray about. So
sounds amazing. Go for it.
Okay, so we'll chat just a little bit about the power of prayer, and how that can impact. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So I'm at my office. For those of you guys watching, I'm at my office and my son is with me, and I think something just fell. But anyways, a little background noise. So I think that it's when we think of prayer, we think about, who's sick, or obviously like the state of the world. We might make a generic prayer of like, thank you, God, that I'm not sick, that I have all 4 of my limbs, something like that. Right. But really, really tapping into prayer as it relates to just your own personal health, your own, vitality, and what that can look like. So James 5:13 just says, are you suffering hardships? You should pray. Or are any of you suffering hardships? You should pray. Are any of you happy? You should sing praises. Are any of you sick? You should call for the elders of the church to come and pray over you, anointing you with the oil in the name of the Lord. Such a prayer offered in faith will heal the sick, and the Lord will make you well. And of course, if you've committed any sins, you will be forgiven. And and then verse 16 also kind of recruits like how important having support network is. So verse 16 just says, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The earnest prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. And this particular passage came to mind when I think about women that are busy and, like constantly busy, but wanting to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and you're trying to work and you're trying to take care of everything around you, and how important prayer is even through that journey. So, and I think it really comes with like confessing what you're struggling with to God in that moment. Whether, if if your health goals are, whether you're looking to maintain your current weight or something, or if you're wanting to lose weight because you know that you're just going to feel better, that it is not vanity to pray for God's hand on your life and on your body to help you make those type of, daily decisions and to lean on him. But also how important it is, like verse 16 kind of reinforces, it may not be necessarily like a sin, but how important it is to pray for each other and each other's health and have that support network, with like-minded people.
That is amazing. I never thought of that because so many times, for me, working out is also not only a physical thing, it's a mental thing. It helps my mental health. But so many times I think as women, we feel guilty to even go do that, let alone pray about it, because we feel like we're being selfish and it doesn't matter. Have you ever seen that at all when you work with women?
If I see what, just
have you seen women thinking that it doesn't health my so many times I have a conversation that my kids' health or my husband or my job, that becomes a priority, and then I'll do it when I can get to it. So the idea of praying for those goals and helping, that is unique and interesting. Do you do this in your life, and what has if I can ask, what have the results been?
Yeah. And yes, I do. I think it's easy for me to downplay and be like, I don't pray as much as I should, or you know what I mean? But yes, I do. And not even just praying for your own health, but like praying for help, asking God and even talking with other believers, and saying like, praying to help prioritize. How do I prioritize? Praying for, because when you, as a mom, I mean, my brain is going 100 miles a minute all the time. And as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, there's no clock out where I can just not think about business anymore, and it's very hard to like prioritize your time with your children, your time with business, your time with your spouse, your time going to the grocery store. And it's so many, and especially with COVID and just chaos and anxiety and depression just like through the roof, it is so hard to take that step back and literally say, oh my gosh, I got all these things I have to do today. Maybe I should pray about that, And like I said, it's maybe not necessarily committing any act of sin by being in chaos, for example, but, praying and confessing what you're going through to God. When we don't confess, and I'm not just, like I said, I'm not just talking about confessing sins, but when we don't confess to God our hardships, like verse 13 says, and we keep it in, we become resentful. We can feel shame and guilt, like you're talking about, like that mom guilt, that can, settle in. And then you start acting in your own energy. I think so many, and I struggle with this too, so many of us are trying to get through our lives and through the day on our own energy. you don't have to live in this constant state of chaos. Again, it is something I struggle with, and that I'm trying to retrain my mind. But we don't have to live in chaos. We don't have to default to busy. It feels like we have to. And in our society, we're always like, if I'm doing something and I have to be productive and, that kind of thing. But really, like taking a step back and saying, God, please help me to prioritize my day, prioritize my family, prioritize my health. And I think so many people are striving for this like exact equal balance of like, you're trying to like, I don't know, you're trying to like balance like all these areas and keep everything equal. When that's not reality. Reality is that there are going to be days when you need to focus on your children because they have a soccer tournament like my son does today.
Yeah.
So, but then there's going to be other times when you need to focus on your business because you're trying to grow, or you have to go to work because you got to pay your bills. Like that's okay. But how important it is to take a step back and say, I cannot enjoy my son's soccer tournament if I feel sluggish because I have a poor diet. I cannot, I have clarity at work and perform my best and feel good if I'm not sleeping well. So I think that just like we tend to lean in and to God or our support network for other things and other people, and you know, or to confess something that we've done wrong or something like that. Like God is there and wants you to live healthy so that you can serve him and serve the purpose he has for you. And again, not only confessing to God, but verse 16 just says like, hey, pray for each other. If you know that somebody's struggling, with their health, team up, check in on each other. Accountability and support is so critical with kind of, you know, building a healthy lifestyle, and it shouldn't be neglected for sure.
Well, that, yeah. So I actually used to work before I had kids. I did healthcare too. I worked in the nursing home world, and I
Mm,
would see what it looks like to neglect health,
mm,
because nursing homes, I'm sure even now, get really sick people. If they're sick to come to a nursing home, they're really sick. And one
mm,
time I was reading something about health, and it was talking about women and moms. At the time I was pregnant, working some crazy hospital liaison work. And it said, if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to be able to be there, like you said, and take care of others? How can you be present with our kids, which is super important when, we're not feeling good because we haven't been taking care of ourselves, which is always a journey. Do you ever think anyone gets to being 100% healthy, or is it a journey?
um that's a good question. I think because we're aging constantly. um
Unfortunately.
and I also think because every day has its own um challenges, and there's different seasons not only in life but in throughout the day. um but I and maybe this is because journey is overused, and like your health journey, your wellness journey. I have This year I started saying adventure.
Oh, I like
Your
that.
health adventure. Like that has more it's not as overused as journey. I mean, I think journey is fine. Journey is more like I'm walking through a path in the woods and it's beautiful and it's ups and downs. But adventure is like I might hang from a cliff one day. You know what I mean? And need help getting pulled back up. And then there's, other moments in your adventure where you might be, what I imagine is like sitting in a kayak cruising down a river, like that. Those are kind of like I'm a little bit more black and white and swing from different pendulum, ends of the spectrum. So when I think our lives are like that, right? Are more mimic more of this like adventure, but also it sounds less boring. And it's almost like it is an adventure. And the word to me, adventure, makes me kind of think of like just embrace the freaking moment. And you know what I mean? And like there are just some things you can't control. And just kind of the term adventure just has more of like a like just take it, what I mean? Keep
Mhm.
keep pushing forward and make it fun along the way.
So you talked about meditation.
Mhm.
This is a scary word in the Christian spectrum because I think we have tried to overthink this many times. So talk about meditation, faith, and God, because we know the Bible talks about meditation, but
Mhm.
can you give us a clearer picture of what that looks like and how that involves in health? Because health is just more than physical, right? It's mental as well.
Yes. So my approach is like super well-rounded as far as like you said, your health is all of so many different areas. Um, health one's improvement of health, it always starts with sleep, I believe, and prayer.
Mm.
Um, now for some people that I work with that aren't believers, we may incorporate meditation versus like prayer to God, and that is okay. Of course, it's kind of meeting people where they're at, but I think that I think that the difference between meditation and prayer, even in your health journey, or adventure, we'll say, I know I defaulted. I went to default mode. But prayer and meditation in your health adventure, in your wellness adventure, um, they are sort of there's overlap, but they're not the exact same thing, right? Prayer is like you're intentional talking to God and building that relationship with him. Whereas in prayer can also, meditate on God, think about him, think about what he's done for you and all the blessings that you have. Um, so there is obviously some overlap and some and stuff, but meditation offers the ability for you to take a moment and allow yourself to relax
Mm.
and to feel the world around you, and to sit on your porch and eyes open or closed, feel the breeze or look at the colors of what's around you. I'm a firm believer in grounding, where you take off your socks and shoes, you go out and you are physically connected to the earth
Mhm.
directly with skin contact in the grass. It changes your blood, how your blood flows through your body.
Really?
Mhm.
That's awesome. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Mhm. Our bodies have a positive charge and the earth has a negative charge. And so when people regularly ground themselves in that physical format and or getting in touch, feeling with their hands sand at Alum Creek, which is here in town, which I go sometimes just to get a little water feel, or like the elements of the earth, like a lake or a stream, and putting like if you're walking by a stream, even if it's on the street and there's a puddle, like put your hand in it, feel these elements that God has given us in our surrounding, because what that does is it has an effect on your brain and your neural pathways and has a calming effect on your body and your mind. But anyways, it's kind of dynamic and I sort of went on a tangent, but just the importance of like, um, we are all running in stress and chaos. You will have the reason people get cancer, the reason people get sick is stress on their body. That is, I mean, and stress can come from nutrition with a bunch of pesticides or something like that. Like, I'm not going to go into like a whole organic food thing. It's a little different topic, but like just there's just certain, I wouldn't even say pesticides. I just like really processed foods. When you consume really processed foods, your body is getting mixed signals, doesn't know how to metabolize properly. It promotes weight gain and stuff. So any stress on your body is going to prevent weight loss. And it will absolutely, I mean, you ever, it's like, oh, I've been really stressed lately and now I have a cold, you know. So that it happens. And when you do that, when you live in stress and chaos and busyness and don't take time to pray, you don't take time to meditate and to experience the world and the adventure that you are on with, and just running out of, oh, I keep saying chaos, but I was thinking of another word, but anyways, just constantly busy. Um, you will get sick, you will get sick. And if it's not now, it'll be later. And it's really hard on your body. And, enjoy the life. You don't know if you're going to have tomorrow.
Well, right. And I think that plays into self-care. So I'm the worst at this. And so I'm going to kind of just reiterate. So this summer we went to the beach, and that's like my place. If I could feel God anywhere, it's the beach. And I really was on the end of burnout. Like I'm like you, I'm a busy mom who works full time, who's working a business and trying to make that a sustainable one. And I read a book. It was actually a business book, so it's amazing that God speaks through different things. It's called Self from Love. Um, and she talks about in there, if you can't love yourself, then you can't pour into a business, was the topic. But she said something I never thought about, that when we prioritize self-care and taking care of the body God's given us, that's my insert. But that it helps us to manage, or it's a time management strategy, really. It's being able to reground ourselves, like you said. And sometimes I think we think that self-care is the mask, which are great, but sometimes it's like you said, just going outside and putting our feet on the grass for 5 minutes, or getting regrounded. So amazing. All right. Well, is there anything else you would like to share? This has been a really good conversation. I hope you guys are all finding value. If you guys are finding any value in this, would you please put value in the comments? I'd love to know who's finding some value in this. But Maggie, is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I mean, I think that's it. I think it's really, you're fostering a community here of people, and support and praying for each other, praying for the stranger on the other side of the Facebook screen. I think it's really important connecting with others. I'm also, and I don't think people should get lost in social media. I think that's also detrimental, but use the space as a support network that Krista has created. Jump in, use it, embrace it, support each other, and then get out and move along with your day. Pray for each other and pray to God, and just ask him to help you with your priorities, with your busy lives, and also your health, because he cares. And it is, don't think that you're being vain, or that he doesn't care about your physical health because you want to look better and feel better. Like, that's okay, because, we are here to serve his purpose, and he wants you to show up in the world the best you can be. And that also includes showing up in your best health self, so that you can pour out to other people, because it's hard to serve his purpose when we don't feel good.
That's amazing. All right, everyone, you guys really want to go follow Maggie. I promise you, she has an amazing group. I love her group. She has a lot of value. She does challenges just like we do. So if you guys want to follow it, it's linked up in the description. So go over, follow her group. She has a lot of value. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys found this helpful. I know I did. So if this was valuable to you, please let your friends know, invite them in. We'd love to have more like-minded people that we can support. All right. Thank you so much, Maggie, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Krista. I appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.